My name is Elise Patterson. I'm the founder and executive and artistic director of Abilities Dance, and we use dance as a tool to promote intersectional disability rights in the greater Boston area and beyond. And I'm so thrilled to show our virtual premiere of Living Truth. This was a collaboration done with the Fairmount Cultural Corridor to really bring stories to life of artists and citizens of Upham's Corner, which is a community in Dorchester, part of Boston. And it was a great experience to be able to not just talk with artists from the area, but also to talk with folks on the street and interview them and kind of establish what is community and what is home and what is the essence of the community there. Things that are incredibly unique, but also universal to a lot of communities here. We are hoping that you will enjoy this wonderful collaboration with our composer, Rob, who created all of the musical scores, and the New England Film Orchestra, who brought that music to life. We're so grateful for those. And if you're new to our shows, you'll notice that we have audio descriptions, which are words that describe the music for words that describe the dance for blind and low vision audiences. And those are edited by Amber Piercy, our blind audio descriptions editor, who makes sure that they are of use to the community. And we also wanted to give a shout out to our supporters, without which this could not be possible, our Mass Cultural Council, who has in part funded this show, along with Willie Hook Foundation, the Boston Cultural Foundation, and you all who make this work possible. I'm really excited to show this. I hope you can share with your friends that we are a part of this community, and we are committed to uplifting these voices and utilizing these stories to bring about change in all of our communities. So thank you.
So Welcoming Door is our opening piece for our production. It is a solo performed by Cato Day, and the piece was inspired by an exhibit by Melissa Nussbaum, who really used this space to welcome different community members, welcome into different stages of their lives, into different areas, especially welcoming for those who might have otherwise felt unwelcomed anywhere, but this was a space for them to feel welcomed in. And so we wanted to create that same energy by welcoming you into our space. So welcome. Kate starts facing out in the back right corner. She welcomes us with arms swinging to face back. Both arms rise with a slight pulse. Pivots front as arms lower at her side. Right arm and leg kicks to side. Kneels down, touching knee, face in. Big lunge with arms up and steps together. She continues to alternate feet, swinging to lunge. Arms open at her sides, right foot and leg, swing open to the side, spins and reaches with left arm up and right foot pointed. She reacts to the strings twirling and drawing into herself to sit. She slides hands across the floor, rolls, kicking legs into a V and resting on knees facing left. Right hand flows up and down, rolling, in. Right hand, then left hand flows through space, reaching for connection. Both rise and fall at her side. She repeats, stronger with alternating steps. Hands cross and open up to greet. Her arms and legs bend in and out with music to stand. She floats up and skips around the stage. She bows to us and spins to left. Arms when heel as left leg rises and lowers his upper body moves. It sways to spin. Arms push down and up. Left leg kicks again facing front. Arms alternate rising as she alternates swaying, walking to the back, then front. A moment of warm reception. Left leg kicks up, then falls to spin her to front. Graciously bows as arms reach to stand. Hops and lifts left leg as she spins as arms float down to her side. Brushes right foot, spins, brushes again as right, then left foot swing over her. Arms windmill around, swing reach down, lifting left leg and back to stand. Floats up to the sun, then back with arms arms push out at your sides. Right arm and left legs open wide, then alternate to open the space. Left leg opens as if it taps and flexes. Kate pushes down and swings to left. Arms alternate rising. Slow spins. Sways with arms, exploring the spaces. She contemplates not just welcoming, but being welcomed. Hand touches elbow. As she deeply reaches for that greeting, she takes small steps backward, alternating open hands. Arms reach up and over as she arabesques, then slowly spins around the space, embodying the circular notion of welcoming and being welcomed. She rolls to stand facing left. She reaches left and right, spins and pushes out. Feet dash to the right. She deeply lunges as right arm rises arched overhead into a slight back bend. She repeats to the left. Left bend leg rises and lowers down into a lunge with arms open inside. Feet shuffle as left arm arcs over. Repeats with right arm arcing over. Walks to upper right corner, kicking right leg. Walking backward, looking into the palm of her hand for that vulnerability to be welcomed. She opens arms at her side and rotates into a deep bend. Taps shoulder to bend to ground, rolls backward with legs cutting the air. She rests seated, rolls up to stand. Hand slides across chest to lead into a spin. Wraps arms around herself in this radical welcoming of self. Spins again, wrapping arms around herself to prepare to welcome community. Reaches towards every corner of the stage and an arabesque, calling all to be welcomed here. Spins with arms arched overhead, then sits on her knees. Curved arms reaching within, then extending out to a large welcome to all. Our next piece is inspired by a wonderful photographer named JPix. It is a duet dance by Caitlin Knowles and Aaron Murphy, and it is really inspired by the amazing photography that JPix brings to our community and photographing our community and our artists and really our residents and making us feel our best selves and feel seen. While I was interviewing on the street along with JPix taking photos, there was a Van Gogh exhibit next door, and JPix yelled out, "I am Van Gogh." And that really resonated with me because we all have the potential to be powerful artists, and we are powerful artists in our own right.
I am a Van Gogh. I am a Van Gogh. I am a Van Gogh.
Aaron and Caitlin confidently look toward us, embracing the energy of being living legends. Arms reach up, then slowly lower. Torso swings right, then left. Hands push out and sway. Dancers skip back and face each other. Grab hands. Release, face left, then roll through their torsos, Caitlin and deep bend. Both face front, knee to right with right arm extended. Cupped hands bring them to rise, receiving the hydration of community care. Raised arms and Caitlin's right leg tilts, right and release. Hands alternate, encompassing energy, growing bigger and bigger. Moving forward, then back, then towards left corner. Energy shifts away, then toward them. Arms fall at their side. Energized like the radiant sun on the sidewalk of Columbia Road, facing front. Right palm faces side. Left hand rests on top to move to front, flashes like a camera, then circles around. Right hand arcs behind head and releases. They sway, reaching deeply to left, then right, and face back. Right palm faces side, and left hand rests on top to move in front. Curved arms reach up and open, excited to be among the creators of our community. Reaching right, then left, reaching down, then spinning to the front, breathing in the magic of this sacred home. Caitlin paints the colors of this magic with her spinning around to the air behind her. And turning her to face in. Hands rotate around each other as Caitlin spins out. To sit on the floor, they lift Aaron's chairs up as Aaron elevates with arms at sides, enlivened by this act of community care. Caitlin brings chair down and flips to the left to grab Aaron's hand and lean across her lap as Aaron's arm and Caitlin's leg extend. They release. Caitlin sits and rests a hand on top of Aaron's away. Their wrists circle each other, symbolizing this connected circle of community. Caitlin stands, then back to rest on your side, pushing feet through Aaron's wheels as Aaron faces back. Caitlin pushes Aaron's wheels with their feet as Aaron's arm circles around overhead in this phrase to explain beautiful vigor. Caitlin rotates Aaron to front while looking deeply to the right. Caitlin rotates to face in. Caitlin deeply lunges to connect with Aaron. Hands grasp as Caitlin deeply leans backward. Both reach forward with back left behind them. Chair and feet hop like kids, hopscotch skipping. Caitlin spins out of it and chugs feet back towards Aaron. They lunge deeply behind Aaron with head resting on Aaron's back and arms extended to their side as Aaron's arms rest aside. They lean to the right and left. A moment of breath. Navigating through home and all the identities they hold, Caitlin's arms uplift Aaron's as their leg rises into a deeper esque release as Caitlin spins around Aaron and Aaron faces left. Both left arms curve in as right arm rolls down body and propels them forward. Caitlin spins on the floor again to wrap feet on Aaron's wheels. Their feet spin Aaron around the stage as Aaron captures the image of community and community caring for her. Caitlin rises to Aaron's side as arms extended out, ready to recapture the beauty of their landscape, the beauty of home. Our next piece is entitled Affirmations, and it was inspired by a wonderful artist named Jija, whose name means joy, and the work that she does in affirming community members by stating different affirmations, having community members think of different affirmations that they need at different points in their lives. And our dancers, Caroline Bradbury and Derek Heapley, are dancing a duet inspired by the power of affirming ourselves and affirming our community. And Jija mentioned that we in our community can affirm ourselves, and that was really powerful for me in building community within this work, and also outside of this work and with the community at large, affirming ourselves and building power in that. Dara and Caroline are facing us introspectively, deeply inhaling as arms rise at their sides. Bending over as arms arc down, they rise and open up, welcoming affirmations. Arms open at their sides. They lower to deeply bend with arms open, creating a circle with their arms. Leaning over, rising up. Right foot, then left foot, tap knees 4 times as they sway backward, pausing in moments of stillness. Then rise to arabesque, lunge behind. Dara drops to the left front corner, Caroline faces back right corner. They rotate and drop with outer leg extended. They breathe. Spin on knees to rest on each other back to back. Arms open, alternate arms curve up and out. They rotate to switch, breathing in new strength. They spin out on knees to a deep lunge on bent knees. They stand with arms swaying out, then arabesque. They step back and arabesque until they're back to back. They twist their upper bodies around each other with arms wrapping themselves in self-care. They spin out to face each other. Arms windmilling, they begin to make a circle, orbiting each other, stirring up feelings of strength in various forms. Each dancer on their own pace, in their own time, finding comfort in their journeys. Side by side. They lunge with right arm scooping up, right arm circles overhead. To skip backwards, they pivot, left arms reaching down, rising right hand reaching higher than left, a pause. Both hands reach up and down as they deeply bend. Pivot on knees to face front, reaching out on bent knee, they spin around each other to switch places. Dancers mirror each other as if they're reflecting each other's affirmations. They reach back with outer arms stretched up and overhead. They release forward. Arms make a large circle to face front. Breathing in. Outer arm rises overhead and down. It pushes out. Hand drops to ground as leg sways in and out. They rise facing each other. They arabesque with arms reaching out. Leg whips in to pivot facing back in a lunge. Outer arm arcs up. Torso lowers as they pivot front with arms inside. They lower to the ground on their knees. Torso rises. They breathe in and out. Outer leg face in and out like affirmation. Leg lowers to rest on knees. Arms cross chest twice as arms circle around in this large circle of affirming self and affirming community. They breathe out. Outer arm extends to side, while inner hand lowers to the ground. They release while upper body rises to rest on knees. Arms rise at side. Then wrap our next piece is entitled Memory is Medicine, and it was inspired by artwork by Letta Neely, who believed that there was healing power in memory and in reserving and preserving our past, and in thinking about how to use that to heal ourselves and to move forward. I was inspired by that and also had a slightly different take, because for some of us, not all memories are healing. As a PTSD survivor myself, memories can often be an unsafe place to be, but I also recognize through different therapy work and different resources that through that memory can still be healing, even when it is unsafe and feels scary. And Caroline Bradbury and Linda Lynn did a really great job of exemplifying that duality.
Linda and Caroline started opposite corners in the recesses of their minds. Arabesque, spinning as good right arm rises and body reverberates. They swing back, then front, right foot taps right knee, then skips as they face opposite side and torso leans right while right leg rises, then alternates. Repeating to left, facing front, right foot quickly taps up left leg, lunging forward as upper body circles around and rises to stand. They alternate deep steps. Then forward as one leg rises and up to stand, then hop as they jump into an arabesque, and then as they repeat around the stage, facing back, to back, and a lunge as their minds connect. They lower to the ground on their knees with hands intertwined. Outer arms arc up and over. They roll back like memories unraveling. Dancers mirror each other as they reflect back to each other their experiences. On the ground, one leg bent behind. Wrist, cross, as they float up. Release as arms lower. They push out to stand. They skip and arabesque in various directions as they follow the mountain energy and connect to the birds. They pause looking forward. Opposite arm and leg circle back. They deeply bend, looking up, staying grounded in their truths, their movements, in to stand facing each other, arms outstretched as deep inhales start to heal, push back and retreat back to the corner recesses of their minds. Arms wrap their torso, shoulder shrugs as arms circle towards center, then arms open at side as they bend. Spin out, arms arc up at side. Head looks up and over. Arms push out. Arms rise up, drop, down. Arms open to their sides as front leg points forward. They spin and bend 4 times as they find comfort in this repetition. Their outer leg circles around and bends in as they start swaying side to side, extending leg behind and traveling in opposite directions, like disjointed memories coming together to find patterns and sources of healing. Facing back to back, arms wrap around as they pivot to face front. Bend right arm and right leg rise to side as they alternate steps. Arms extend to side as body rolls. They skip, and right leg rises to bend behind and over to face back. They repeat to face right. They spin repeatedly toward the left corner, reaching out to gather these moments. They deeply bend as they find stillness in these movements. Right leg sways twice to spin out to front. traumatic. They spin repeatedly to the back, facing left. One bent leg raised behind while hands actively explore, unfurling the strings of traumatic memories and beginning to work. They twirl out. Caroline tries to pull back Linda with invisible springs into that traumatic space, but Linda breaks away and twists into a split on the floor. To start the beginning of memory, Caroline rolls out of this and into a more solid feeling stance along with Linda. Right leg bends in, then into a lunge, facing each other, grabbing their head and circling around. As they build community in this shared space of healing through memories, arms make white circles as they spin, repeating, circling arms, then placing hands to their head, inviting us into this communal space of sharing memories to educate, empower, and heal.
Our next piece is a duet by Caitlin Knowles and Claire Lane, and it was inspired by two residents of A Home's Corner that I interviewed on the street, Bruno and Mira. Bruno was a young adult who was still finding their way in life and still unsure of their path, while Mira was very confident, very clear on wanting to go into pharmacy and nursing and wanting to support her family and had a clear path ahead. And I wanted to exemplify that for young adults, youth, that both are valid and both are okay, to have both a very clear path and an unclear path, and also knowing that the paths can change, and looking forward to that, which both youth were. And so we wanted to exemplify that youthful energy, that duality of different life journeys, and that showing both are valid.
Caitlin and Claire start in the far right corner. Right hand flows up as they jump up to arabesque musical energy. They spin with arms extended sides like a spinning top. They step forward and back. They spin repeatedly to the left corner. Leg sways in and explodes out. They hop and together apart and into a big arabesque. They lunge forward with arms spinning like windmills. Release and stand with arms bent to their side. With the violin strings, arms playfully stretch in and out, finding energy in their surroundings. They deeply reach up and down. Then legs skip to the music. They spin with a bent leg out, then down to reach left. Reaching down, then up. They slide to the ground into a plank and back up. Facing left, they slightly bend back, reaching behind, then lower torso, reaching forward. Left leg kicks to the side and pivots to front. Caitlin repeats a sequence of walking back and forth, kicking while Claire starts her own journey. Claire circles her arms around overhead, mimicking the world that's her oyster. She moves across the stage with youthful vigor on a path she's ready to take, arms open to an arabesque with arms in a V like wings, waiting to take flight. Right arm circles over, then down she faces us. Left hand circling and pulsing over right, she begins her whirlwind journey, repeating, circling her leg around. Caitlin reaches out and pulls in Andre. They kick left, then right, leg out, tilting back, then rolling up to stand. They skip right, then left, unsure of the path before them. Both dancers skip backwards. Face left, then left leg circles around and kicks to front. These polar opposites finding unity in their opposition. Left leg circles behind while right arm arcs up. Facing left, wrist cross, making a butterfly, the wings pull up to take flight on their individual journeys. They spin twice and reach up. Right hand floats down. They pivot to face right in arabesque. Reach down. Swing left leg up and around into a bent arabesque. They bend down with alternating hands, reaching up towards a new future. Left leg kicks out. Into a deep plie. Legs alternate tapping knees. They skip back.
open to alternate side and reach down and towards us. They roll on the ground, kicking legs midway into a deep V and lunge towards opposite sides. They spin on their knees and kick right leg up, sway and kick up again, crawling backwards to standing, finding unity in their different paths traveled. Outside leg rises as arms sway. Leg reaches out at different heights. They spin with right leg bent over leg and arms at different angles. Arms windmill into a deep lunge. They reach back as outer leg goes in, then out into an arabesque with winged arms. Face each other in a lunge. Shoulders roll back. Torso rolls down and up to face back. Kicking right leg out into a deep lunge. They face back. Back to back. Arms open, alternate arms curving out. They rotate to switch, finding unity in their different leg paths. Reaching forward, inner arm reaches up as they rest on outer hand. They spin on their knees. Leaning in, hands reach out, palms connect to push them up to stand. Torso lowers with arms aside, outer foot circles behind to spin them, reaching towards each other in a lunge. Claire kicks while Caitlin rolls on the ground. They start to explore the corners of their world with equal vigor and determination. While on different life paths, they're connected through this community. Caitlin reaches under Claire's hand. They spin around each other and face front, lunge with wrists crossed like young butterflies, ready to take flight. The next piece is a solo by me and inspired by a wonderful woman I met on the street named Jacqueline. When I asked Jacqueline where she felt most at home, she mentioned Boston Medical Center because she's a breast cancer survivor and she spent several years there where the medical team became like her family and became a place for her to learn and to understand and accept and heal and all the positive things that someone in a longer term medical care environment can have. I can relate. In some ways, I too have had extensive stays in medical care and understand the connection and the bond that you can create with that medical team that becomes like your family, that supports you during a really hard time, and that brings you along that healing journey and helps support you in that. And so I wanted to exemplify that story and share that to also uplift to the medical team and all of the medical providers that have healed us during this really hard pandemic time, to honor them as well.
I had the pleasure of meeting Jacqueline, a wonderful, hard-hearted woman near the Old Citizens Bank in Upper's Corner. Her bright brown skin radiated an otherwise cold Boston day. Arms repeatedly circling through space to mimic the sun. She works as both a nursing assistant and a chef, nourishing the body of the community in different ways. Standing, traveling through space in different directions, taking moments to deeply bend and feel grounded in the community.
the steep ground to sway side to side, deeper and deeper. When I asked her where her favorite place in the community was, she said Boston Medical. She's a breast cancer survivor. She endured for 6 years and has been in remission since 2018. I can absolutely relate. For those who are in hospitals or rehab or any long-term medical treatment, adept and equitable hospital workers become more than just nurses and doctors. Lowering to the ground, crutches released with arms stretching out and exploring space. They become your food service worker friend who knows to give you extra fries when they have it. Lunging on the floor to push arms out. The nurse who sits with you in silence as you undergo yet another round of chemo. Filling the air with everything needed by filling it with nothing at all. Arms making large circles with chest lowering and rising. A moment of rest. Even with these supports, it doesn't make it any less challenging. Expanding beyond Auckland, I think of many of us feeling lost in the system. Rising to frantically spin and walk in different directions, especially in the medical system that refuses to see the systemic reasons behind what might be causing the symptoms they're seeing, if they even see your symptoms at all, if they even see you at all. Facing front, right leg, then left leg sways and flexes front, torso rolls through and into a deep lunge, swaying left, then right, feet alternate to bend even deeper, body rolls up to stand. Right crutch drops as the right hand flows to music. For those hospital workers who do see you, they become close confidants, celebrating every milestone, big or small. They share their lives with you. They share things to look forward to upon leaving, and that is key. Left crutch drops. Arms and legs repeatedly open to radically welcome. While several might see you as a diagnosis of fever, those hospital workers that were with you remind you of the culture behind your disability or chronic illness or injury or whatever brings you into their care. They embrace the nuances of your humanity. I didn't get a chance to ask Jacqueline if that was the reason that led her into nursing. I can only speak for me, because that was definitely a big part of what brought me into my work. The reminder that through the various systemic barriers we face in the medical industrial complex or other systemic inequities, we are here. And wherever we might find it, we are radically welcomed. Resting on the floor, hands wrapped torso. Our next duet by Erin Murphy and Linda Lynn is called Truth Bearers, and it exemplifies two different figures that are important to the Upham's Corner community. Both Nancy, who founded Upham's Corner News to expose injustices in the community, to inform citizens of their right, and to hold truth accountable to our legislators, as well as Thig, who was an amazing person I also met on the street, who was just a wonderful figure figure to so many folks in the community who shared their truth in his work and the bond of his family, and how the community has been home for so many years and holding that truth. And so both figures, while having different life paths, are holding truth and owning truth and being that truth in their community.
Aaron and Linda are facing us. They lean forward with palms connected, finding strength and grounding in their bond. They lean forward with palms connected, arms open to circle to front, left arm opens as they look right. It slides underneath right arm. They sway on the floor to face left. Left, then right arm circles open. Lean back with right extended, then abruptly bending. Pivot front, lean right. Right arm extended at side and alternate. Lean back with arms extended, then bend in. Hands cross and extend out. Both arms scoop up as they display their truths. They release at their sides, embracing the community's truths. They face into each other, holding hands and circling together. Release Linda's arm, bend in as she bends side to side along Aaron's wheelchair, rising and dropping. Outer and inner arms circle overhead until they hold hands. They release to rise arms and release with a deep breath in and out. Aaron pivots front, Linda walks behind her, both arms rise, then sway at sides. Their arms take down like they're meeting a news deadline. Linda's arms circle over Aaron. Aaron and Linda face the right corner. Linda in a deep lunge next to Aaron, her arms sliding underneath as both arms rise. Linda rolls on the ground to face in front of Aaron. Outer arm connect and circle behind. They spin outwardly like a news wheel. Right arm crosses chest and opens out. They face left. Arms extended side and deeply lean forward, then behind. Linda circles foot on the ground as she rotates Aaron to face front. Aaron's right arm extended out as her left arm moves in. Stationary like TIG as a stationary community form of nurture. Linda reaches over her, releases arms as she leans on Aaron's outer arm and kicks legs up and over to spin out and face her. Grabbing her outer hand in a deep lunge, they release. Aaron starts to open and close her hand in different directions, like a camera flashing. Linda joins her, arms extended sides. They rotate their torsos to the right, then left. Arms and torso rise, hand lowers into fist as fist alternate, making circles like old film reels, capturing the stories of Nancy, Tig, and others that inhabit this community. Arms sway and hands turn. Arms rise up and release. Aaron's arms extended sides, Linda's leg kicks up and over as she spins repeatedly behind Aaron to the right. Leaning on her right arm, Linda kicks up and over. She rolls to the ground in front of Aaron. Right and left arm cross, then lift in. Right, then left arm open up, welcoming our stories. They walk towards us, then away. On their way to their sister's house like Tig. On their way to expose injustice through open corners news like Nancy. Like the dozens of pedestrians walking through Owen's corner, walking through their truths. Facing back, hands flash like a photographer taking photos of the community. Reaching right and left. Torsos lower to face front as they rise. Arms rise to crossed wrist, then lower. Swaying left to right. Palms face us. Arms open to bend in. They pivot left and roll through upper bodies twice, moving to left corner. Both Aaron and Linda jump twice. They reach towards each other, grounded in their trees.
So our final piece is a piece about Upham's Corner history, and it is a trio by Caitlin Knowles, Claire Lane, and myself, and it really was inspired by a report about Upham's history that shared how the community had, I forgot the exact words, but kind of degraded because of white flight, which we all know is just gentrification and white supremacy at work. But to show that even with the changing nature of our communities, even with divestments, that we are still a strong community that is valued, that has strong, rich, diverse history in our community, in our city, and to exemplify and honor and recognize our history, our diversity, and our strength, and that despite all of these oppressive forces, we are still here.
Starts on stage in far right corner. Right leg rises with arm as if connected by string and circles around to the back, inviting us into this history of community. They lean forward, grabbing towards the earth in silence. Arms rise at side, facing back and pushing down. Left leg kicks out to side while upper body leans right. They roll down and pivot to right corner. They push out against gentrifying forces, leaning forward, walking back with arms swaying, trying to find their place. Right foot taps left knee as they walk backwards into a lunge with hands folded behind. Feet alternate. Pivot to face front and spin with arms at their sides. They swing left leg up and around, facing back. They kick and resist. Kick higher and resist. Facing front, shoulders roll back. Working through tension of a changing neighborhood. Eyes extend to sides as knees bend out and hands gather as if scooping up the soil of what was. They release as they rise to stand. They skip to left and extend left leg out as upper body sways left. They repeat to the right. Hands float up as if reaching for the stars they've always known and float backward. Right palm reaches out to lead them into a spin like a dancer in a jewelry box. They spin outward, center, and repeat spinning. Facing left corner, right arm angled up and left arm angled down and behind. Feet cross. They continue reaching out for home, then spin out with arms arched down. They run off trepidatiously in a moment of stillness. Historic Boston released a report about the quote-unquote decline of Upham's Corner, but was really due to white flight and not mentioning the strategic disinvestment from a thriving, diverse neighborhood, but that's another story for another day. Anywho, Claire enters with bent legs dramatically injured, transforming the space as her own. She alternates lunging with arms open, spinning, then legs dramatically push her back as she takes in the space. Right hand flows down like a remnant after a storm. She spins twice. Upper body lowers while arms move around to spin upright and lower with back leg and arm up. She rises into arabesque. She slowly spins like a dancer in a jewelry box. Alternate leg sways in to kick back out. She reaches out looking for left arm rises in an arc, rebounding, then releasing. She repeats to the right. She pushes into a lunge, then rolls on the ground, repeats to the left. Arms rise up and over to face the right, arms rising and arm repeating. She finally becomes grounded in the community as her arms rise up and move and she settles. Elise enters the space, leaning back and kicking up until next to Claire. Both arch their back up with arms behind and down. They rotate to stand facing left. Elise's right foot leg raised behind while her crutch lifts up Claire's leg and both rotate and plunge to front. They jump in opposite directions. Their shoulders shrug as they orbit around each other. Opposing energy of those who enter and those who slowly shifting. Eyes connect as they lunge towards each other in a way Claire walking off, leaving behind her waves embracing our community. Elise lowers to the center of the stage. Palms connect as she lowers her torso and rises up. Hands orbiting around each other, growing smaller and smaller, mimicking the tensions rising from those who've called this community home. But at the end, we still remain. Hands closed.
Thank you again for watching our show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed creating it. A special shout out again to New England Film Orchestra who contributed the live string quartet music that you heard. We hope that you can continue to support us by coming to our next production titled Intersection, which will be a hybrid in-person and live streamed event April 22nd and 23rd. You can go on our website abilitiesdanceboston.org to learn more about that event. And we hope you can continue to support us through social media on Facebook and Instagram at Abilities Dance Boston, as well as donating to help support the amazing work that we do at abilitiesdanceboston.org/donate. We rely on your support in order to continue creating great work and great change and supporting our artists equitably to do that. So thank you again and have a good rest of your day.